So Disney and Pixar are releasing a new Toy Story movie, and if you somehow don't know which installment in the franchise this is, it's the fifth one. It's the fifth Toy Story movie we have gotten since the franchise started all the way back in 1995. This franchise so far has never missed in my opinion. Well, that is if you're not counting Lightyear, of course. Now, I haven't seen the movie beyond the trailer because apparently it's not a great movie compared to the rest of the franchise. It's a mid movie, it's a mediocre movie. But the biggest reason why I haven't seen it personally, it's because the trailer just left a bitter taste in my mouth. I just do not like the animation style at all. Because why did Pixar decide to make it look super ultra realistic? I don't like animated movies who try to go for like an ultra realistic animation style because animation is supposed to be expressive and have unlimited freedom, you know? Animated movies aren't bound to the rules and physics of our world, so for that reason they can make something that wouldn't make sense in our world make sense in the animated world. So if an animated movie goes for ultra realism, then the freedom gets stripped away because it starts to mirror our world and our rules. Either way, as I was saying, if you ignore Lightyear, then this franchise, depending on who you ask, is perfect or near perfect. I personally think that Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 are among the best animated movies out there. You could probably even make a case for them as being one of the best movies out there, point blank. The ending of Toy Story 3, I think, is also one of the best endings to a movie ever. Spoiler warning for those of you who haven't seen the movie in 3, 2, 1. Seeing Andy give his toys away to Bonnie instead of storing them in a box was a really emotional scene in my opinion. I think Pixar did a great job with that scene. You could really feel for Andy because those were his toys for 18 years, so to give them to someone else, it was really hard, but it was also sweet at the same time seeing how someone else like Bonnie would get to enjoy and have fun with his toys. The ending is also super relatable because playing with toys is a universal experience. We have all playing with toys when growing up, but we have also stopped playing with them for various different reasons. Yet we still have those memories with us of playing with our favorite toys. So the ending really hits close to home. It reminds us of when we were kids playing with them. Now, as for the fourth movie, I know it's very divisive. I know many people out there don't like it and would much rather have it not exist because to many it's an unnecessary cash grab sequel that ruins the perfect trilogy that is Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. But I personally like the fourth movie. I am and will always be a defender of the fourth movie. I don't think it completely ruins the franchise, as many say it does. I see it as like an epilogue to the ending of the third movie, right? Because we get to see how the toys are doing without Andy and then what they have been up to ever since he gave them to Bonnie. And we also get to see how Bonnie has been interacting with them. I think it was nice to explore a little bit of that. Now, this is not a perfect movie by any means. I do think it's the weakest in the franchise and has its fair share of criticism. For example, spoilers again, if you haven't seen the first movie, it mainly focuses on Woody and forgets the rest of the toys, which, I mean, this is a Toy Story movie, not a Woody movie. And also the ending where Woody just leaves the gang to be with Bo Peep seems like just out of nowhere because throughout the entire franchise, we have seen that Woody is loyal to kids. He wants to be there with a kid whenever he can. And so to just leave randomly to be with his girl, it's a little bit contradictory. But I still think there are positive aspects to be taken from these examples despite their flaws. Since we spend most of our time with Woody, like I said, we really get to explore his character and how he feels about not being liked by Bonnie. And this also ties up really well in the end when he leaves with Bo Peep, as he finally realizes that it's okay to let go and not be the center of attention or the main and favorite toy always. I also like some of the messages the movie has. For example, one of the messages the movie conveys is about learning how to accept oneself, using Forky as an example, because when he comes to life, he only sees himself as trash, which he literally is trash, but he doesn't see himself as Bonnie's toy like all the other toys. However, by the end of the movie, even though Forky is still literally made out of trash and nothing changed, he's okay with that. He no longer minds the fact that he's made out of trash because he now sees himself as a toy, as one of Bonnie's toys. Now, moving on, as I mentioned in the beginning, we're now in the fifth installment in the franchise, which kind of begs the question, how many more Toy Story movies can Disney and Pixar make before they ruin the franchise? Dude, if they fumble this movie, they're literally playing with fire because the bar for a Toy Story movie is astronomically high, so failing to meet it is a very likely possibility which could ruin the legacy of the franchise. I honestly don't know how to feel about the movie. I do plan to see it in theaters because I like Toy Story and I hope this movie will be good based on its premise. I do think they have a pretty interesting plot of toys versus tech. But the ending is what I'm kind of scared of because there's no way Disney and Pixar try to go 3 for 3 on emotional endings. They did an emotional ending for Toy Story 3 and try to go for one in Toy Story 4 even if it was kind of weak. But nevertheless, they went for pretty emotional endings in both movies. So if they try to go for another one in this fifth one, it won't work well. It just won't. The emotional impact will not hit because we all know that they're gonna go back to this franchise in a couple of years, like they did with the previous two times, undoing the emotional ending. So I really hope that they didn't even try to go for an emotional ending because, like I said, this movie will make over $1 billion like the previous two movies and warrant more sequels. So might as well set up the future sequel.